What is that thing that literally everyone can do, but you somehow cannot? How the duck can you whistle? I can whistle pretty well the normal way, but I can never get the finger whistle down. My dad does it at sporting events, and it echoes through the entire stadium. Last time I tried to teach myself I almost passed out. Same. I can whistle any tune you want, but I can't break eardrums. Earbuds don't fit. How? I always thought I have some kind of deformity, and whenever someone offered me their earphones to listen to music I'd just say that I'm not in the mood. I was always in the mood. Earbuds fit my ears just fine but gross. There's no way I'd pop someone else's earbud in my ear. Remember/comprehend words to songs. I instantly know the music and can harmonize, create the beat, and nail the melody. But I can't tell you what most songs are about unless I study them. I can memorize no problem. But with music, my mind focuses so much on the notes that I just can't focus on the words. I will be happily singing the words to a song, and then my wife will tell me that it's a horrible song or something. Anyone else like this? Totally. Most of my life the vocals would be like another instrument and I couldn't make out words for the life of me, unless it was a slower song or something. Usually could catch on to the chorus after a while at least. Even then I would have concentrate. I could pick out individual instruments and shit though. More recently I discovered I could actually hear the words to songs. It's more annoying actually. When I was in choir at school I would memorize all the songs, but for some reason I could only remember like 2 long term. I still remember the UPC for sure fresh eggs from the grocery store I worked at almost 20 years ago though. Hiccup quietly. Every time I hiccup it sounds like a seal in distress. I get very scared that I will suffocate. Motivate themselves. My secret for this is energy drinks. Sometimes I'll drink 1 or 2 cans, and then suddenly I'm getting everything done. Doing programming work, chores, dishes, errands, everything. Also while drinking it, I could easily tell the instant it kicks in. The laziness goes away and suddenly I focus, like in the movie Limitless, when he takes the pill for the first time and everything goes from dull and grey to bright and warm. And suddenly everything becomes clear. But before drinking it, I don't want to move from my chair or bed at all. I'll just be here all day, until I'm forced to get up to either feed myself, or go to the bathroom. Maybe coffee could work too. The fuel that powers the working class. But I don't drink coffee. Do that weird kind of snapping thing that you shake your whole hand and does that snapping sound. Despite being a Trekkie, I can't do the Vulcan sign. Blasphemous I know. Just fall asleep. Not even close to everyone can do that. Almost 100% of the time I can and do just fall asleep. And I'm pretty sure I'm in the minority. Remember cool stuff they've done or that's happened to them. It's like whatever part of the brain suppresses things is just haywire with me. It doesn't make me miserable. Just try to imagine if one of your friends had almost no anecdotes to share and relied solely on the present or recent things to relate to you. Part of why I post to Askreddit. Questions are prompts that force me or allow me to remember. I have this. When friends share a memory of us, I always think, was I there? Memory floats away in my mind. I'm usually stoned though. I'm not sure if this counts, but I've never been able to cross my eyes. Edit. I usually don't talk about how I'm unable to cross my eyes, because people don't believe me and give me endless advice on how to do it. I've been to an optometrist for my terrible vision. They couldn't figure out why I can't do it. I did a field sobriety test in driver's ed and the officer didn't believe me that I couldn't do it. Thanks for all the replies, but I just can't cross my eyes. I literally can't. Born cross-eyed and had a surgery when I was young to correct it, but now I can't do it. I can't trust people, not for things that mean something to me. If they missed returning it to me 1 week it's gone forever. If they talked about me behind my back that's just the way they are. If they promise to pay me back they never will. Even with my friends, I can only trust them with the mildest friendship. The moment we start doing things that actually mean something to me, if they miss it it's never gonna happen again. It's not that I don't want to trust people. I pretend to be naive in a vague hope that I'll somehow return to believing in people. But in reality, there's only a handful of family members I actually trust, and even then not for everything. I just can't do it anymore. No matter how hard I try, I see nothing but liars and thieves, even within the people I care about. But hey, at least I can ducking whistle. Yes, oh my god. I have this weird thing where I'm amazing with strangers. Straight up friendly and accommodating. However, once we become friends, cross a certain point where you get too close and I will go distant as hell. I will never let them in. Never let them hurt me, because as you said, liars and thieves. There were people I knew for 7 years I just straight up dropped. The friendship that I have with people is the mildest form that I can sustain, and even then, one wrong move and I'm inclined to just leave. I can't snap my fingers. Neither can I. No matter how many times I try. Complete silence. Throw a frisbee where I want it to go. It always ends up way off to one side or the other. I have a friend who swore he could teach anyone. He failed. It's all about the timing of the release. Swim. Had all the lessons. Even as an adult. Still doesn't work. Stick to a proper diet and exercise. It's tough to get into if it's not the way that you're raised. Eating badly as a kid literally changes your taste buds. It's not impossible to unlearn those bad habits though. Yeah. As someone who grew in a family that has a bad relationship with food, I know this all too well. It's like the equivalent of growing up in a household of smokers or alcoholics. Drive. But I have ADHD. Zero self-confidence, and I'm convinced that if I did try to actually get on the road I'd end up killing someone and or myself. My husband has adamant and it's the thing he excels at. Anything with gears and steering, just give it to him. Road trains, dump trucks, front-end loaders, cars, motorbikes, machinery, trailers, whatever. Tell him to screw a bench into shelves in the laundry though. Still waiting almost 11 months after asking. Am I your husband? Actually enjoy life and want to participate in it. Like, where do y'all get the motivation and energy? How does it feel to like truly enjoy things without your brain throwing stupid caveats about how you should still feel like shit because X reason? You ain't alone. That thought process has been ingrained in my head for like a decade at least, and it hasn't gone away. Ride a bike. Show up to things on time. Every time. Sorry, I guess everyone always tells you to get going earlier and get there earlier. I personally am very guilty of telling people this, since being late is one of the greatest sins one can commit against me. I'm pretty sure you have tried it. Why doesn't it work? I'm not trying to sound judgmental. I'm just interested in the mechanics of how people manage to always be late. Ride a bike with no hands. Never did figure it out. This seems like a dangerous thing to try. To me, as someone who lives in the Netherlands, where traveling by bike is very common, it's not as dangerous as it might look. I've never been the type who found it cool to ride a bike without hands, but I tried every once in a while out of curiosity. First with one hand, and later without hands at all. I got the hang of it, and can do it pretty well now. I can do it for as long as I want, and can even take corners that aren't too sharp. It's all about balance, maintaining speed and shifting your weight to make corners. I still don't do it often, and when I do it's mostly on straight roads, when it's not busy. Cycling without hands on busy roads, or on roads with sharp corners is incredibly stupid and dangerous, of course. But you'd be surprised how control you still have with some practice. Though I also grew up in a biker-friendly environment, where practicing was possible and safe to begin with. So there's that. This is going to be depressing, but this is more of an awareness thing. I can't feel emotions. I can recognize them and see them on paper, but I'm just flat 24/7. Heads up. That's a clinical depression symptom and often responds to medication. If you prefer not that, you can probably have not that. I've been dealing with this for 90% of my life. I've been on over 50 different medication trials, along with countless therapies. Not to be a negative Nancy, I've just kind of accepted it. Snap on command. Like, how the hell do you do that whenever the hell you want? Both snapping and whistling come from years of practice, but I can do both really loudly now. Sit cross-legged. I have this power, but it has a terrible cost. My legs will without fail fall asleep and go numb. I've never lit a match. I'm a professional arsonist. Hula hoop. Open a string sealed bag. Just rip a hole in the bitch. I didn't even know the strings were for opening. Sneeze loudly. I mean, how? Question mark? Question mark? Whenever I sneeze only a breeze comes out. It's a curse. Trust me. Trust me too. I'm a lady and I'm supposed to have a petite sneeze. But instead I've got a dad sneeze. Say the word rural. I can't king doing it without sounding like I've swallowed marbles. How about rural Jura? This is evil. I think I said you will. Is that close enough? Mathematics. Ratchet straps. I own them. I have a pickup truck. I'm a carpenter. I have to put shit in the bed of my truck all the time. But I take a ducking half an hour just to figure out how to thread the strap through the ratchet. My fink shows me every goddamn time. But do I remember the next time I have sheetrock or my kayak in the truck? Of course not. It's ridiculous. Also, sleeping at normal human times. My body likes the go to bed at 3 AM. Wake up around 9-foot schedule. And it makes normal as hell. It's my personal biological clock. I've been like this since grade school. My body likes 6 AM to noon. And there's nothing I can do about it. So I took up astronomy as a hobby. Luckily I'm a software engineer so it doesn't interfere with my job at least. But I wish I can sleep like a normal person but I can't. Even tried moving time zones. Now I just accept it. I'm terrible knowing right and left. I have to think about it for a while and still get it wrong quite a bit. I'm left-handed. So I blame it on that. Same. Left-handed as well. I always have to think about the hand I write with to figure left from right. It doesn't come spontaneously to me like knowing up and down. Wink. Swallow pills. I just freak out whenever I think about it. Finally, someone else who has this problem. Exclamation mark. I've been feeling like I'm the only one. How do you deal with it? Laugh at Seinfeld. Hold down a job. Seriously. How? Exclamation mark. I get so damn bored after like 8 months. Same people. Same work. Same conversations and jokes. The longest I stayed at a place was about 2 years. But even after mastering that place I had to move on. Have you considered a career that is more project based? That way you can stay with one company and move project to project. Or move companies a lot but have a common thread. Construction. Architecture. Event/wedding planning. Management consulting. And even summit/tech roles are project based. I just realized why I don't get so bored at work. I work at an architecture firm and you're right. Changing projects does keep the boredom from setting in. I'm usually the ringer they throw in at the end when they need to get shit done. So I usually bounce around from project to project every few months instead of working on one project through the course of a year. Uncork a bottle of wine. Or pop a bottoms of champagne. Useless at parties. Float in water. I feel like dead weight every time. How y'all do that? Some people just don't. They're literally too dense. I found it hard to float until I got older and got some fat on me lol. How the hell do people wear beanies and make them look normal? I'm half Japanese, but for I cannot effectively nor consistently flip a pen. Open blinds from the string. Walk in a straight line when sober. It's impossible for me. Never been able to. Never get pulled over for a DUI. I can't skateboard. Roller skate or ice skate. I cannot for the life of me control where I go, and I can barely stand. I'm pretty top heavy, so my sense of balance just sucks egg. This sounds really dumb, but I can't blow my nose. For whatever reason I can only muster a blow that is just slightly stronger than my regular breathing. It's really infuriating when I'm sick and congested as blowing my nose is only relief for like a minute or two. I suspect I must have really narrow nasal passages or something. Shave without cutting the shit out of myself/ending up with all kinds of razor burn. I'd grow a beard, but I can't do that shit either. 32 and never learned to tie my shoes without doing bunny ears so I've never done it and never tried. Any math that's more complicated than double digit addition. multiplication, and division. I found out when I was a teen that it isn't normal to have heart palpitations when solving math problems, and that most people can reliably remember how whole numbers interact with each other. I realized there was something wrong, but never really got a diagnosis other than severe math anxiety. Play soccer. I can't even kick a ball properly. I'm almost 50 and have never been able to burp at will. Crack an egg without breaking the yolk. Try hitting the egg with a fork. Put up my hair. I've tried and tried, but I just can't coordinate two hands plus ultra thick hair that definitely wants to do its own thing. I can't flip my right hand palm up with my arm outstretched. Touch the floor with the tip of your fingers without bending your knees. Being happy. I don't know if this counts, but I've never had a crush. I just can't. I always thought maybe I was just immature, but I'm basically an adult now and still haven't ever been attracted romantically or sexually to anyone. Properly breathe. Be good at something. Have a relationship last longer than 6 months, or even find relationships easily. Roll my tongue. Not a chance in hell. Please my wife. I've pleased your wife. How the hell did you find someone who likes you? By liking yourself first. Spell and read. I can do both, but neither well. I always miss the second the. Skip words. Switch order of words. Skip letters when spelling. Make my own sentences that make sense until I think about it. Drink alcohol. It tastes like pee. I hate it. Exclamation mark. Smile. My smile is so ugly. Using chopsticks. Be a function member of society. How the hell can you people just start talking to other people? Exclamation mark. Focusing is a talent I lack. It pairs with my procrastination, which leads to a lot of rushed or late assignments. Some I have just completely given up on, and they are never to be seen again. Also, making wish lists. I can't think of stuff I want. Understand the concept of believing in a god. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more videos.